you've been following me on Twitch, you might know my favorite game is Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. My parents originally bought me the game when I was about 7 years old, and I didn't know it then, but that purchase would end up attaching itself to my entire existence as a gamer. Now, when you pair that love with my fascination of RPG Maker games, you're probably wondering why I haven't released my own Mario RPG fan game or something yet, right? But instead of creating my own, I instead wanted to share what I know about the history of a rather unorthodox side of this 1996 Squaresoft classic, the fan games. Content created in tribute to Mario RPG knows no limits, and some of it feels like a great companion piece to the game. Other content, regardless of the audacity, contributed to the memory of the game. It's thanks to the fans that characters like Mallow and Geno show their faces in one of the biggest Nintendo games of all freaking time. So let's talk about those companion pieces. There are quite a few projects on the internet, but none quite as captivating at first glance as Super Mario RPG Legend of the Five Pendants. Originally released in 2012 on Mario Fan Games Galaxy, the game crafted creative, surreal gameplay using the game's original graphics. Sometimes, the game felt like playing a broken, super early version of the game, and sometimes it took you to places that took you right out of that feeling. I mean, at one point, I quite literally could say I played a game where Super Mario ran from the police. The game plays less like an RPG and more like an action-adventure game at times, and man, is it frustrating. Sometimes it's really frustrating. My original playthrough isn't even complete. That's how frustrating it was. Yet, despite its flaws, the game really does feel incredibly nostalgic and charming at times. I hope one day to look at the game's difficulty with the same reverence that people who play games like Getting Over It or Pogo Stuck hold. Until then, maybe you should play it and just let me watch. Now, if you're craving something a bit more linear and RPG-like, then allow me to do what I do and point you in the direction of a fantastic Mario RPG fan game developed in my namesake, RPG Maker 2003. Super Mario RPG The Seven Sages, developed by RMN user Udivision, is one of the most developed fan projects I've ever played. Of anything. The game borrows its graphics from the first Mario & Luigi game, while borrowing bosses, thematic elements, and even the level up concepts from Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario. I've often considered this fan game to be the penultimate fan game that I was always hoping to find on the internet. The atmosphere of the entire experience was so pure in its intentions while retaining the protruding RPG Maker engine that I love. Not to mention the fact that Bowser would join your party and all of my favorite Super Mario RPG villains repurpose themselves in different ways here. The game has a ton of worlds and secrets, rivaling a commercial game. And if that wasn't enough, fans of the game have added even more content to it. It's been downloaded over 20,000 times off of RPGmaker.net alone, and even has a sequel made in the subsequent RPG Maker Edition XP, which is also worth a play if you want to invest yourself even deeper into Udivision's Mario lore. But let's say that you're less interested in playing a fan project, and you want something that is more cohesive to the original game. The idea of playing 5 pendants seems masochistic, while the Mario and Luigi-styled SNES characters in Seven Sages feel sacrilegious. Surely a tool was never created to work inside the game's original code, right? Lazy Shell is a third-party .NET application capable of turning Super Mario RPG inside out. Made up of 17 different tools, Lazy Shell can replace graphics, modify the script, import audio, and essentially turn the ROM into its own RPG maker. Absolutely insane, completely user-friendly, and at the time of recording, utterly underused, Lazy Shell is crazy. Since the discovery of this tool, the compendium of ROM hacks remains pretty small. ROMhacking.net only hosts about 26 hacks, and a majority of them are text hacks and gameplay modifications that are rather minor. All things considered, there are a good number of entertaining experiences among what's listed here. For those of you excited at the idea of a hard mode, look no further than Super Mario RPG Armageddon. The game beats the shit out of the original difficulty curve while adding new attacks, items, secret bosses, and insane changes to the balance of the game, guaranteed to provide a challenge.
I don't even know if it's the same attack. Here we go.
If you just want to see the lazy shell engine used vigorously, Legend of the Axum Rangers flips the player character role to that of the familiar Power Ranger robots from the Barrel Volcano. The experience feels unique while adding some much needed lore to these memorable characters. For a more surreal turn, as I'd usually be drawn to, there's Luigi's Purgatory, a creepy alternative experience that gives the game darker music and visuals. The game increases the difficulty while making tweaks to give it the atmosphere of Luigi being doomed to repeat Mario's journey from the original game. It's got off-putting visuals, minor adjustments, and, always a plus, you play as Luigi, so I think that says everything it has to, right? If these sound too complicated, you can save yourself some time and twist your Mario RPG experience up in what I'd consider the new standard way to do so, with a good old-fashioned randomizer. The process can be done in your browser in less than a minute, providing tons of new ways to experience the game. It's in my hopes and dreams that Square and Nintendo will one day reunite to deliver the next Mario RPG project, be it a new Mario and Luigi entry, or something even closer to the source material, but until then, I'll happily continue to quell my excitement with the community that loves the game, and add to it as one might feel obliged. Thanks for watching.